Hey everyone, I'm Edd Kimber. I'm a food writer from London. I'm a baker, and today I'm going to show you some recipes from my brand new book, Small Batch Bakes. The recipe I'm going to show you now is one of my favorites. If you like carrot cake, but you want to eat it on the go, these carrot cake cookies are exactly what you need. They are delicious and super easy to make. First thing we're going to do is make the actual cookie mixture. It's very, very straightforward. First thing we have is some dry goods. So we've got flour, cinnamon to give that classic flavor, some baking powder and some salt. We're just going to whisk it together just to make sure that everything is nicely distributed. And then to that, we're going to add some nice jumbo rolled oats. We want really nice texture from those. So we're going to add that together, just give that a good stir. That won't distribute as evenly, but we just want to make sure we've given it a good mix. Then we're going to make the base of the recipe. So it's just some room temperature butter, which we're going to add along with some white sugar. So either super fine caster sugar, or if you can't get that, granulated is fine. And then because we're making a carrot cake, we want that classic warming flavor. So we're going to add a little bit of light brown sugar as well. So we're just going to mix this together for about 5 minutes until it's really light and fluffy. So once our mixture is really nice and light and fluffy, we're going to add an egg and then some vanilla bean paste. You can use vanilla extract for the cookies if you want, but I really like the added flavor that you get from the paste. It's quite sticky, so you're going to need to scrape that out using an adorable little spatula. Everything like this that is smaller is just way cuter, but is also super useful. So mix that all together. Just until everything's nice and combined and you've got a uniform mix. So all we have to do now is take that dry goods we worked with earlier, just add that to the bowl. And we're just going to mix this very briefly, just until everything's combined. At this stage, if you want, you can do this just with a spatula, just so you're not over mixing the mixture. But as long as you're brief, it will be completely fine with a hand mixer as well. So once we've got our basic mix, we're going to add our raisins or currants or sultanas, whichever you prefer. And then we're going to add our grated carrots. And this is going to give obviously the classic kind of carrot cake flavor, but also texture. It's going to add moisture. So these are really nice, soft, almost cake-like cookies. To finish this off, I'm actually just going to use a spatula just to mix everything together. So you can see that as you add the carrot and you mix it through, the mixture will become slightly softer and almost feel a little wetter. And that's because the carrot has loads of moisture, which is why these end up more like cakey cookies rather than crisp cookies or chewy cookies. Once you've got all of that mixed together, like so, we're going to scoop those onto our sheet tray. Now, this is my favorite tray of all time. If you know me at all, you know I have probably 30 of these at home. They are my go-to for everything. Because they're aluminium or aluminum, depending on where you're from, they bake super evenly, and they're also incredibly multi-purpose. I literally have a stack of them in the kitchen and they're incredibly useful. So I'm going to use a cookie scoop because this mixture can be a little bit wet. If you don't have one, you can use spoons, that's fine. You just want to try and make it into a nice round so that we have even shaped cookies and that our cookies, when they bake, end up nice and round. So just scoop those onto our tray. This makes a decent amount. It makes 6 cookie sandwiches, so it makes 12 cookies in total. I'm gonna make 6 of these now, but don't worry, the rest will get baked off. So what I like to do is when I'm scooping the mixture, to make sure they're all the same size, I scrape the scoop against the side of the bowl so that we've got a flat filling, so we know that all the cookies will be about the same size, so that when we sandwich them together, you get a really nice, neat and even cookie, if that's something you care about. So these are now going to go into the oven. We're going to bake them just until they start to go golden and slightly crisp on the edges, and they'll be slightly paler in the middle. So whilst these are baking, we can make our cream cheese filling. So whilst the cookies are in the oven, we're going to make a really simple classic cream cheese frosting. So we're going to add some unsalted butter that is at room temperature, and a little bit of cream cheese. And this is gonna give a great tang, and it's just delicious. So we're gonna beat that together just until it's nice and creamy. It only needs to be a minute or two. And then once that's nice and creamy and it's lump free, we're gonna add a little bit of vanilla bean paste. Give that a quick mix through as well. And then all we need to do at this point is add our confection sugar, our icing sugar. And so we don't create a huge dust cloud of confectioner sugar, I'm just gonna add that in 2 or 3 additions and go nice and slow. Gonna add a final amount of sugar. And we're just gonna beat this now just until it's really nice and light and fluffy. We want to make this really pale, creamy, and delicious. So at this point, we can mix for a little bit longer. So once you have taken the cookies out of the oven, you'll have a delicious carrot cake cookie. If you are in the US and you're using large eggs, they'll spread like this. If you're in the UK and using large eggs, which are bigger, they will spread a little bit more. It's completely fine either way, complete preference. If you want to make them exactly as they are in the book and you're in the US, you want to switch the large eggs for extra large, but they'll still taste great either way, just might affect spreading slightly. All we're gonna do is take some of our cream cheese frosting and use a little offset spatula. I said little, but that's actually quite a lot, but I'm not gonna complain about that. I'm just going to spread it round so that the bottom of the cookie is fully covered. And then take a second cookie, sandwich it together, and you have the most delicious cream cheese filled carrot cake cookie. It's an incredibly simple recipe and it is so delicious. I'm gonna finish the rest of these off because there's a whole bunch of people right here who want to eat them. So that is the recipe. Again, super simple, definitely worth making because it is delicious.